Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money G. It's time to review the latest supernatural horror film called The Invitation. Yes! Now, The Invitation is a 2022 American supernatural horror film that was directed by Jessica M Thompson. It was written by Blair Butler and Jessica M Thompson. Now, the film stars Natalie Emmanuel, Thomas Doherty, Courtney Taylor, and Sean Pertwee. In the film, a woman is courted and swept off her feet, only to realize a gothic conspiracy is afoot. Uh-oh, here we go again. Now, I'm sure not some women, not all, would like nothing better to be courted by a rich and proper wealthy man. I mean, you get to visit his proper and courteous family in their luxurious and huge mansion. You get to wear expensive dresses and eat some of the finest food that you ever dined on. I mean, everything is fantastic. It's like I just stepped into a fairy tale. However, there's a catch, and suddenly you either have to fight for your life or make some type of sacrifice in order to enjoy this lifestyle. That's always a catch. I mean, we've seen this as play out in other horror films before, and such is the case in Australian film director Jessica M Thompson's supernatural horror film, The Invitation. Now we're introduced to Evie. Her name is Evelyn, but she calls herself Evie, a struggling artist who makes a living for a catering business while still mourning the death of her mother. After sending in a free DNA test urged on by her best friend Grace, Evie learns that she has a cousin in England named Oliver and relatives in England. Oliver convinces Evie to attend a grand wedding in the England countryside where she meets the Lord of the Manor, Walter Deville. However, strange events occur in the manor. Evie starts to realize there's something weird going on with her new English relatives. Oh yeah, something big is really going on here. I'm pretty sure, and right off the bat, I'm pretty sure everyone else started to get Ready or Not vibes, as the premise to both are similar to each other. I mean, Grace was a foster child with no family, and she's marrying into a wealthy family that have a terrible secret of how they gain their wealth. And Evie's English relatives also have a terrible secret of how they obtain their wealth. So we have very similarities here. I mean, the setting is also similar, as both use a grand and gothic looking mansion where terrible things are happening. In particular, maids start to disappear or they get killed, and the staff where they work. I mean, there's so much similarities between the films Ready or Not and The Invitation. Now, in The Invitation, I would say around half of the movie we see Evie and Walter are attracted to each other, and it kind of plays off like a Hallmark or Lifetime romance novel, especially during the Christmas season where we see these generic romance movies that are air on those two channels. We have the proper and handsome Englishman who's really looking for a woman where he can be himself instead of what his family expects him to be or who the type of woman they expect him to marry. And then we have the struggling American lady who finds herself something that only happens in fairy tales. I mean, it's kind of mushy if you ask me. Really nothing happens throughout the first half of the movie other than we get to kind of know who Walter is, and we get some knowledge of Evie and her background. I'm assuming that this is some type of character development that we have with the two leads in the film. Now, throughout while this is happening, things are not what they seem to be as mates keep disappearing. And we have a condescending family friend, Victoria, how she treats Eve. We know there's something's going on. We just don't know what it is. But like I said before, we have a couple of scenes where the maids disappear, they get attacked. We see condescending Victoria. Obviously, she treats Evie like crap, and we know there's something going on here. Now, of course, once the truth is revealed, I would say right around the end of the second act, it's really no surprise, mainly due to the hints that Jessica and co-writer Blair Butler leave throughout the film, as well as certain characters' names as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure people such as myself who know horror films, once you see certain names of certain people, you know where this is going. Now, I expected the film to do something more when the truth was revealed, but all we get is a bland fighting scene and some terrible CGI effects and kind of a lackluster ending. It's like, this is it? I mean, I see something better in a certain Stephanie Meyer film. I should say novel. You know where I'm going. Natalie Emmanuel, known for Game of Thrones and the Fast and Furious films, she's okay as Evie, a woman who's very independent. She stands up for herself. She treats the maids and the other ones with respect, and she has a strong moral code. You know that we get to know a little bit more about her. Now, while I love her chemistry with Courtney Taylor, who plays her best friend Grace, she kind of reminds me of Rod. That's the character Little Ray Howery played from Get Out. But I certainly didn't buy her and Scottish actor Thomas Dorothy Walter romance. It felt rushed and bland and really don't have any chemistry together. All there is two very attractive people that we see before, whether it's the Hallmark Channel or the Lifetime Channel that we've seen before. We have attractive people and they get together and we assume they're going to fall in love. And then really doesn't feel any type of chemistry in it. If you're expecting blood and gore, you came to the wrong movie because even though it's rated PG-13, I've seen decent PG-13 horror films before. This is not it because you're not going to get any blood or any gore. And that's despite the fact on who Walter really is supposed to be, because once more hints are thrown about his real identity, you expect something more, but it doesn't happen. Again, you got more with that film based on Stephanie Meyer's novel. Overall, this is a meh horror film. I mean, it's nice gothic atmosphere, so we do get that. Like I said, we have an enjoyable lead, but it's a poor attempt in trying to add something new in this type of subgenre for horror. I expected something a little bit more, but this is all we got. So I'm going to give The Invitation 1.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. It's just not good. I mean, it's just you got the bland romance in the first half. Once the truth is revealed about who Walter is and the relationship he has with Evie's English relatives, you expect something great or something decent to happen, but it just fails. It's like they were too scared to push the envelope. That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming that whenever they marketed this film, obviously they didn't market to horror fans such as myself or anyone else that enjoys the supernatural creature that this film is supposed to be based upon. But I mean, put it this way, I'd rather see that movie based upon Stephanie Meyer's novel, to put it the truth. So there you have it. That is my review of The Invitation. Hope you guys did like it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share because you know how much it really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. Have you seen The Invitation? Did you thought it was meh, just like I thought? Leave your comments in comment section below and tell me what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Money G, and always remember that horror rules. And I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.